Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey there, Telsha, how are you? Did you get a chance to meet Apostle? Hey there, beautiful butterfly. Hey, Nat Kelly, how are you guys doing? Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get this camera right. Hey there, who is that? Baby boy, how are you? Beautiful disaster. Hello from Namaste, from India. Jaslyn, you did? Telsha, well, what do you think of my mentor? Hi, is it Tracker Pete? Hold on, make sure I get it right. Tracker Pete, Doreen, hello. Hey, Lori, Erica, Arlene, how are you doing? Oh, thank you. Hey there, Mark, how are you doing, sir? Hey, New Dawn Rises, Telsha. Hi, Miss Demetria, I miss y'all. Can't wait you come back. Happy birthday, it's Miss Tasha's birthday, y'all. So Miss Demetria's birthday is today. You met Telsha too, Tasha? So Telsha, you met my Go-Be Great Girl? You exchanged numbers and Tasha too? Oh, you got Tasha's number? I should have came. Hey, Dion. Hi, Ernestine. Hey there, Ritu. How are you? Oh, you guys adopted her? So Tasha says she adopted y'all, Telsha. So that means you got to come up here and visit. You gonna come up here and visit, Telsha? Hey, Nicole. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Ruby. I believe it. Beautiful in Texas, huh? They telling you happy birthday, Tasha. Hey, Crystal. I know I should have. I thought about coming, but I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave Pastor Kathy by herself. Hey, Boston. Hey, Tonya. TH, how are you? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Telsha's family now? Okay, Telsha, well, you have officially been adopted. You're family now. So I got to see Tasha's pictures. She gonna bring some pictures so I can see. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Bart, how are you? And who we have here? Niagara Falls. Oh, wow. She's your new spiritual mama? So you see where I get it from, huh? Hey, Stephanie. Hey there, Patricia. How are you? Hey, Precious. Fernando. Hey there. I know it's pretty in Texas. Hey, Angela. An exquisite gem. How are you? How are you guys doing? Okay, this one right here, this little camera over here. I'm sorry, is this Facebook over here? How are you doing, D. Reynolds? Okay, I think I got it halfway right over here. I'm sorry over here, Facebook. I know I'm trying to do two cameras at the same time. I apologize. So there is some works for Houston coming up. I believe there's some works for Houston. She's your new sister family. That's what I'm talking about. Hey there, who's this? Janice, how are you? Jaslyn, oh, look at there. Telsha, they're happy for you. You got a new family now. Great. Houston, okay. So I get to meet you guys in Houston. Hey there, Linda. Martha, oh, thank you so much. Hey, Shelly. H-Town in the house. So I'm getting with Miss, I have to get with Miss Tiara. I have to get with her tomorrow. I'm going to call her tomorrow to talk about some venues. And so there, I know North Carolina is coming up. Thank you, Miss. Is it Janice? Thank you. So you got to come up here and visit, Telsha. Hey, Mimi. But she's got some things in the works. So you guys know I'm coming to North Carolina, and then she's working on Detroit, Houston, Los Angeles, and hold on, Detroit, Houston, Los Angeles, North Carolina. I have to see where there's another one. You coming, boss? You got to come up here and visit us and meet the rest of your family. Who's that? Korea. Hey, Korea. Hey, Crystal. New York City. Okay. Oh, North Carolina. I'm sorry. I'm talking about New York City. North Carolina. I knew what that meant. Yeah, and family. Do you plan to come to New York at some point? I hope. You guys open up a venue, or I'm going to talk to Miss Tiara. I'm going to talk to Miss Carpenter, and I'm going to put it out there for her. So where she goes, I'm going to go. You can make LA? Okay. And Los Angeles is gorgeous. Where am I out of? I'm in the state of Washington. Detroit, I got family in Detroit too. DC, my dad is in the Maryland area. I have to come up there. Wherever he's at, I got to come up there where he's at. Yeah, Maryland and DC. I got my dad and my stepmom are up there. My stepmother is running for Congress. So those of you that are in the East Coast area, my stepmother is running for Congress. Her name is Sheila Bryant. She's running for Congress. How about Cleveland? Haven't heard anything yet. Dallas, I should be in Dallas. I believe I should be in Dallas in April. But in Dallas, I'm going to take care of some family business. And while I'm there, I may just do a meet and greet. So when I do a meet and greet, you guys, I'll open it up for you guys to for a paid event, so you guys can come, and I'll do a meet and greet, and I'll speak at the meet and greet so we can eat. People like to talk and eat. New York, Connecticut would be great. Wisconsin, sure wish you would come here, in West Virginia area. Aw, don't worry, you never know what happened. You never know what happens. You guys open up venues and you invite me to speak, and let me know. You never know. Please talk about if there are any stories of narc healing. Janice said, please talk about if there are any stories of narc healing. I sometimes feel sorry for them. I don't know any. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not sorry. I apologize. Well, thank you, Miss Sherry. Beautiful butterfly. Love that. Yeah, Dallas is beautiful. I love Dallas. Yeah, Detroit is one of the places that she's working on for us to go to. Yeah, Dallas, I'll probably do a meet and greet and have a dinner, like a dinner venue where you guys have to pay for your own food. You just have to pay to come and be a part of the VIP, and I'll come and do a meet and greet in Dallas so we can all come together. I have to get with TMG on that. I'm gonna have to get with TMG. I have to call TMG so her and I can set that up. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. My grandson is gonna be born in April. So Barclay Center, New York. That sounds awesome too. I mean, if you guys have venues, you know, if you want me as a speaker, you let me know. You inbox me, then I'll send you my my speaking fees. Of course, you got to fly me out there, so that'd be awesome. Please let me know to deal with narc during mediation. I'm not legal, so Ritu, I can't give you any legal advice. You would have to find a professional that deals with the legalities in the court system. And you may also want to find a domestic violence advocate that is versed in being able to support you in court, so you know what to say, what not to say. But I cannot provide you with legal advice. Hold on just a minute. Let me pick up something from the floor. All right, sorry, my cat was dragging stuff through here. Okay, let's see. Florida. If you guys invite me to Florida, I'll come. Can you do more videos on narc bosses? Oh, you saw my narc boss one? Sure, I can do that. Daughter goes to A&M. Okay. Very thankful you will be doing videos for teenagers. Let me get with the teenagers so I can talk to them. So I know, you know, like some of the questions or some of the thoughts that they have, so I can address it. So I'm gonna get with the teens that I'm around, and I'm gonna talk to them. Do you know of good coaching course I could take? So Jaslyn, so there's different coaching courses. You would have to kind of look for them. Now, for myself, because of the fact I have the highest level of credentials, and so my highest level of credentials is licensure through Washington State as a licensed mental health counselor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I hold a doctor of education. So I'm more on the educational research side. When it comes to my doctor's degree, but I practice with a licensed mental health counseling license through the state of Washington. I'm also a certified clinical trauma professional, which I have to every 2 years, depending on how I pay for it, I have to recertify, meaning even with my license every 2 years, you know, I have to make sure that I maintain my credentials. And I also maintain my trauma credentials by making sure that I get educated in trauma and that kind of stuff. So because of that, I'm also retired military. I was a senior enlisted leader in the United States military. And so in the military, what we used to do is, they call it coaching now, but in the military, we used to call it counseling. We used to call it non-clinical counseling. I used to provide professional, educational, financial, family, but my whole goal, the leaders' goals in the military is to provide counseling and career counseling to help leaders, build leaders, create leaders, educate leaders, and then help them to advance in leadership. And so really what we were doing is coaching. We were coaching. So we were coaching people into success, to the officer side of the house, to the enlisted side of the house. That was a full-time job. Those are the things that we did in the military. We led and trained soldiers for war. We, I did things like I was a victims advocate. I was a military victims advocate for wartime situations. I was a drug and alcohol coordinator. I also was a equal opportunity representative and career counselor. And so I was a career counselor. I was a rep counselor. So these are coachings that we used to do in the military. So for me to advise you on like what certification, because of the fact that I did it for years and years, when I took a little certification course just to see what it entails. And really, you don't require a certification, but if you've never done this kind of work, I would highly recommend you get a certification. You just have to find which one, because some of them are a little pricey. And so you want someone that's able to mentor you. Get down. But you want someone to be able to mentor you and to help you, like while you process and you're working with clients. But I can't recommend like who to go to. If you don't have a mental health or a counseling or social work background, if you don't have counseling experience at all, I would highly recommend you looking around for a good certification that's going to maintain your certification. It's going to help you. They'll mentor you. They'll help you, set you up, and teach you how to do coaching. But as a what program, I don't know what to recommend you to, because I let my certification go. There's really no need for me to have a certification in coaching, because of the fact that I do clinical work. And so when I don't do clinical work, I just do coaching on the side. And coaching is kind of more goal setting, following you through to make sure that you're following through on your goals. We set a goal, we make sure you follow through, we check in. I mean, that's pretty easy compared to what we do in counseling. So it's kind of fun to do coaching. But where to go? Hey, Nina. But where to go to get your certification? There's lots and lots of programs out there. You just have to find one. You just have to find one that will suit you. You're a nurse. Yeah, okay. So as a nurse, you can still, do coaching, because as a nurse, you can also do, because I know nurses can do, I think you guys can do like supervision, but nurses can do like, it'd be nice for you to do coaching, dealing with, the medical field and what you see happening with people that are traumatized. As a nurse also, what I can tell you, I wish I had my certification here to show you, but as a nurse, Jaslyn, is it Jaslyn? Yeah, Jaslyn. As a nurse, another certification that you can get that will help you is like the same certification that I have, which is certified clinical trauma professional. You can get that certification, but it's really nice because you're in the medical field. So you understand once you learn certain things, and as you keep yourself educated, with that certification, you're very powerful as a nurse, very, 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 very powerful as a nurse. And I really encourage you maybe get that certification, maybe, and if you email me, I'll send you where to get that certification at. But in order to get that type of certification, you have to be in the mental health field or in the nursing field, like you in the medical field, some type of field like that. So hopefully that answered. Happy New Year to you too, Miss Marilyn. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Evie. And Nancy, how are you, Nancy? Oh, thank you. Oh, uniquely made. Thank you. Hi, Valerie. Detroit. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. I have family in Detroit. Hey, Luba, how are you doing? So, all right, we'll go ahead. I did do, Tanya, I did do a video on counseling versus coaching, so you guys know the difference. And a lot of times people, they're wanting coaching. Coaching is very good, very, very good, and I do not, hey, LT, but I don't, LT, we used to call our lieutenants LTs in the military, is a pet name for them. But, hey, Natalie, but in, what was I saying? Hold on, I was answering somebody. What certificate did you say? I'm just coming on. Oh, I was talking about someone was asking me. Oh, I did a video on counseling versus coaching. And so you can go and check out the counseling versus coaching. Coaching is very, very good. I'll come right back to you. Coaching is very, very good. Do not get me wrong. You have some very powerful coaches out there that will assist, and people have been helped. I always advocate for counseling too, because a lot of people, a lot of you that have been through this type of abuse, you really need counseling. You really need someone that understands the mental health field, mental health disorders, anxiety disorders, depressive disorders. Coaches, when a coach slips over and do not understand their boundaries, they slip into our field and it becomes unethical, and they can be sued because they don't understand the ethics. They don't understand mental health. Some of them claim they do, and they give clients a lot of advice concerning mental health, but a coach cannot provide mental health counseling, mental health information. They have to know, and they're taught in school, they have to know when to refer, when to understand whether it's a mental health issue. Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Telsha, I didn't even start my timing. Give me 30 minutes since I've already been talking. Give me 30 minutes, okay? Give me 30 minutes. But a lot of coaches cross over into the counseling field, and you can get sued for that. So it's really, really imperative that thank you so much. It's very, very imperative that that you get counseling so you can get treatment for like post-traumatic stress, major depressive disorder, anxiety disorders, eating disorders. Thank you so much. Who is that? I have to adjust my glasses. Rubber. Thank you. Hey, Jackie. But really, really, some people, and then on top of that, mental health professionals also collaborate with med providers and medical professionals. If you have one that knows how to do assessments, like I do assessments, and a lot of my assessments, hold on, let me adjust my camera, you guys. I'm sorry. If it pops out, I apologize. Give me just a second. Alrighty. But my phone may pop out. Hopefully it doesn't. But there we go. It's a little crooked. My apologies. But okay. I just lost my train of thought. Let me get it back. Let me get myself back online. I'm sorry, I was trying to adjust my camera and stuff. But I do recommend counseling. I do recommend counseling if you have a counselor that understands how to do assessments. I usually do assessments so I can collaborate with med providers and medical professionals. And what I do is I provide mental health assessments so that I can break down the symptomologies. When I do the assessments, I'm very detailed on how I do the assessments, and I break down the symptomology to prove to them, it's almost like in college. You make sure that you cite what you write. And so when I do assessments, I make sure that, if I give a diagnosis, I back it up with the symptomology that backs up the diagnosis. And remember in my last video, I said, when you're dealing with mental health situations, a lot of time mental health can be very, very complex because not all people just have one diagnosis of something. A lot of times they have a lot of diagnoses of a lot of things. And that's the victim or the survivor and the narcissist themselves. Sometimes it's just, the symptomology crosses over. So it's very hard to determine what is going on. So a good assessment and a good med provider and a medical professional that collaborates with the mental health provider, I recommend that to you guys, and someone that really understands. Not everybody's trained that way. Thank God I was trained by a psychiatrist, and I work for a really good, hey Asia, I work for a really good mental health agency that focused on, because I was an MHP before I got licensed, which is a mental health professional that does assessments. So I actually had the MHP credentials to do assessments in the agency, and so I continued even on my private practice to do assessments, so to make sure that people are getting the right. Now, not all the times am I 100%, because there are a lot of other overlapping symptoms and diagnosis. And so, but I do the best that I can to make sure they're on the right medication. I explain them the side effects, what the medication is for, and based on how I was taught. So that's why I encourage you guys to get counseling. And that's the difference between a coach. A coach does not have that information. The only way a coach has that information, someone told it to them or talked to them about it, but usually they're not in depth like that. They do not do assessments. They do not do mental health assessments. They do not collaborate with medical professionals, med prescribers, nor doctors. They are not credentialed through state licensed boards. Now, some of them are credentialed, meaning they do get certifications, for the many, many hours they spend learning how to do this. But mental health professionals are more in depth when it comes to, hey, Missy, they're more in depth when it comes to mental health problems, issues, behavior problems. Alrighty, so let's see, what did I miss? Okay. So Uniquely May say, why is Narc obsessed with ex-Narc girlfriend who caused him massive Narc injury? He took her back and it's killing me. Even I've been no contact since January 1st. Well, number one, Narcs return to old supply. Sometimes they, I hate to use this term, but they recycle. They keep going back to whatever door is open, and whoever opens the door, opens the door. The narcissist doesn't know that the other person is a narcissist. All they know is that their behaviors is very familiar. And so you got to think a narcissist is already paranoid, number one. So they automatically assume everybody's doing the same that they're doing. So imagine two narcissists together assuming that they're doing the exact same thing that they're doing. That's a hot mess because there's a lot of head clashing. And then a lot of times there's physical altercations. And so whatever provided him with fuel, he'll just keep going back to. He recycle whatever, he'll keep going back and forth. That's what narcissists do. Keep going back and forth to supply if they need some fuel, so this is not an uncommon behavior for them. How do you know if your spouse is definitely a narcissist? Watch my videos. Watch my videos, and once you start watching the videos, you'll be able to determine that yourself, because that's a whole video in itself. And if you watch my videos on YouTube, it's Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. As you start watching them, your mind will start opening up. You'll start having more understanding, because that requires a whole lot of communication, a whole lot of videos for me to explain that. But I promise you, if you go watch my videos, you'll start to pick up on their behaviors. You'll be able to determine it yourself. Did you get the info I emailed you? I got to go back and look. Because when you guys email me, remember, most of the time it's not your screen names. So I'm not sure which one's which, but I'll go back and look. Send it to me again, just in case I missed it. You are so welcome. Love, peace, and abundance. That's pretty. Hey, Chew Chewy. How to detach emotionally if you are an extremely codependent person with extreme social anxiety? The first thing you need to do is get into counseling. You have to get into counseling. That's the first thing you need to do, because you need to work on that codependency problem. So you need to get into counseling, find a good counselor, deal with your social anxiety, deal with your codependency problems, get understanding out of that. But the best thing to do with the narcissist as you're working on yourself is no contact, because the longer, thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much, Lizette. But the longer you are no contact, the more that brain fog starts lifting, and the more clearer your thinking gets, the more you start thinking. I'm telling you, a lot of you, once you have been no contact for a long time, it's like the light bulb came on. You're like, what in the heck was I doing with this individual? How did I stoop to the, and that's why a lot of you beat yourselves up. A lot of you enter into shame, embarrassment, humiliation, because that fog has lifted and you're thinking clearly. And now that you're thinking clearly, you're thinking, how in the world did I get caught up in this? How was I so blind and all the red flags were there? Because there was a mist, this chaotic, confusing cloud. And the longer you stay no contact from them, the more your mind starts clearing up. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about, because most of you guys email me. I've been through it myself. I get it. I know. Well, hi there from Malaysia. How do you say hello in Malaysia? Let's see. When I go no contact, I start to feel better, but we share children. So Chantel, Chanel, because of the fact that you have children, unfortunately, when you have children by a narcissist, you have to maintain minimum amount of contact. That means that you have to be prepared, because a lot of times they'll use the kids to start a conversation with you. And so it'll go from, what time are you coming to pick the kids up to, and how have you been? How's things been going? You have to avoid getting into conversations with them. You have to treat them like they're the plague. The only thing that you have conversation about is your kids and your kids only, and that's it. You know, other than that, there is no small talk. There is no communicate. There is no little Johnny did this. Ha ha ha. Oh, okay, all right. You know, little Jack and Jill got their haircut when they were going up the hill. Ha ha ha. No. Oh, okay. You know, so you have to gray rock. You have to gray rock. You have to be very point. Remember it. Okay. So the last time I messed it up is bottom line up front. Bluff is bottom line up front. And then keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. You got to keep it simple, stupid. And I'm not calling you stupid. That's just the acronym that we use in the military. You bottom line up front, keep it simple, stupid. Just gray rock. Put no emotions behind your conversation. Yes, no. Treat them like they're the plague. Treat them like they stink. But don't look at them like that, okay? Yes, he'll text me out the blue saying, kiss the kids for me. You don't have to respond. You don't have to. Listen, never feel obligated to respond to all their texts. Kiss the kids for me. Okay. What that got to do with the price of tea in Texas? Okay, when you talk to them next time, you tell them that. You know, what purpose does that serve? And then a lot of times you get angry and you respond back. Every text does not require a response. You don't have to respond to everything that they say. Never feel like you have to respond. See, a lot of you guys feel obligated. Well, we got kids together. It's only right. No. If you want something about the kid, ask me about the children. If there's anything you need to know about the kids, I'll let you know, and we'll keep it like that. Kiss the kids for me. You don't have to respond to that. You do not have to respond to that, okay? Do narcissists like to keep people in suspense? Absolutely. They like the no closure. That's why many of you don't have closure, because they try to keep open doors. They never want for you. They hate when you don't respond. Absolutely, that torments them. But they keep open doors. So they purposely keep open doors for you to ask why. Why are you not responding? Why? They always keep you off kilter. You better not jump up there. Excuse me, you guys. You better not jump up there. I didn't want him to pull down my furry coat. But they always keep open doors. They always keep you on your toes. They always have you walking on eggshells. They always have you walking around in suspense. That's absolutely what they do. Yeah, turn off notification of read or received text. Absolutely, Brenda. Absolutely. If you guys, I don't know if all phones do, I don't know, iPhones do it. Go into your iPhone and go into your phone and turn off the read receipt. So anytime that you read a text or anything, they will not get a read receipt that you've seen it, that you viewed it, that you read it. Okay? You know, turn it off so they don't know when you've read it. Yeah, you don't have to. Mimi said, this is so true. I've been doing this all day and he is pissed. I wish he would go live with his narcissistic mother. She's like him. Oh, that'd be a beautiful combination, huh? Keep it simple, stupid. Yep, keep it simple, stupid. That's military terminology. Keep it simple, stupid, and bluff, B-L-U-F-F. Bluff, B-L-U-F. Bottom line up front. Yes, I think it's iPhones. Okay. Yeah, but you can turn off the read receipt so they don't notice you read the text. He even tries to antagonize on Family Wizard app. See? I got blocked on all social media from my narcissist because I confronted him on some bullcrap. Been blocked for 3 days. Okay, he's giving you the silent treatment. So he's giving you the silent treatment. He did a discard because he's trying to punish you. So he's trying to punish you. Don't worry, he'll come back and he'll start antagonizing you again. But he's punishing you. He's punishing you because he's waiting for you to reach out and try to pull him back in. And if that doesn't work, he'll turn it around. Air Force, cool. Okay. All right then, Air Force. That's what I'm talking about. Fly high. Say, do narcs use their family members to make contact after no contact? Oh, absolutely. That's called Hoover by proxy. Hoover by proxy is when they hoover you through someone else. They use flying monkeys, family members, whatever, codependent folks. But Hoover by proxy is when they use someone else to hoover you, or they talk through someone else. A lot of times they hoover you through your kids. So they'll talk through your kids to make sure that you, for example, they'll send pictures to your kids that has nothing to do with your kids. So they send pictures of what them and their families or their new supplies or what they're doing. They send these pictures. Well, hey there, just be real. But they send these pictures or they send these text messages that really has nothing to do with the kid. And when you look at it, it's all about for you. It's all to trigger. It's all to hoover you. It's all to trigger you. It's all to hurt you. That's all it is. And it's sad because they use the kids as a pawn, or they use the kids to try to hurt you because they know that you care about your child, number one. And the child doesn't understand that they're in the middle of a game where the narcissist is trying to hurt you. And the child is in the middle, and the child is innocent because the child loves the parent. And so, but the parent doesn't have a problem injuring the child because they're self-absorbed, they're selfish, and they think but only about themselves. And when you have nothing to do with them, you're not paying attention to them, you're not bothering them, you could care less about them, and you guys will get to the point. The more you work on it, you'll get to the point where it'll get to a point where you could care less about them. You can care less about them, you care less about their life. You know, it just so happens that you happen to procreate with this individual. Now you are stuck in this, you know, this semi or pseudo relationship with them to maintain some type of peace on behalf of your children. But a narcissist is so self-absorbed and selfish that no matter what they do, they always try to hurt you. Even when, remember when I always say they can lick a window and you could care less. Well, really, they'll do stuff and they get to a point where you're really not bothered by them. What you're bothered by is the fact that they're using your kids to hurt you. But it'll get to a point where you really begin to think like, I can't stand you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Alienation is their game. That's the word I was looking for. Alienation. Thank you, Stevie Bananas, and good evening to you, sir. Is obsessive compulsive disorder a part of the healing process? I keep doing drive-by and feel horrible. That's not obsessive compulsive. That's just you healing. You still want to know. Your mind is still, your heart is still hurting. You want to know, do you have someone? What are you doing? You know, let me see you one time. You have to stop that. You have to make a conscious effort to stop that. You know, you have to make a conscious effort to stop that. That's not obsessive compulsive. That's you're hurting. And so you're stalking. You got to stop stalking. Don't stalk. Don't troll their Facebook pages. You know, get away from their Facebook pages. Stop trolling them. Stop stalking them. Stop trying to see where they're at because you're hurting. I feel narcs who need to constantly tell the ex about this wonderful new supply is trying to convince himself that he is so in love. Really sick. How can they feel love? Sanita, you my new BFF. You my girl. You got it. If a person has to spend so much time trying to convince you that they're so happy, if a person has to spend, and that's whether they're narcissists or not, but when a person has to spend so much time trying to convince you how happy they are, how successful they are without you, how well they're doing without you, that means that you are on their mind, honey. If you got to convince another person, think about it for a minute. If you got to work so hard to convince another person how successful, how happy you are, how much I'm doing that you're not doing, what I have that you don't have, and you have to constantly throw it in their face, that's because of the fact that they're on your mind. That means that they're not actually happy like that. They're trying to make if you're truly happy, I don't have to prove it to you, right? If you're truly happy and you are moving on with your life and you are at peace with your life and you're happy, you don't have to prove that to anybody because of the fact that you feel it. That's all that matters. But when a person has to prove it, it's not real. It's not real. That means that like you said, they're not convinced. Neither is the new supply convinced, especially when the new supply is trying to convince you that they're with your old boo. If they're trying to convince you or trying to make you see that me and your old, your old narcissists they don't even know that they're narcissists. But when the new supply has to make sure that they always throw in your face that I have her now or I have him now, they ain't got them either. Their community properly, they don't have them either. And they probably assume that they're probably trying to get back with you. And in actuality, they probably got other supplies that they're hoovering or that they're love bombing. But you see how confusing, how this is just it's terrible. It's confusing. It's ridiculous. Put it that way. How much time do I have, Miss Telsha? It's just confusing. It's just absolutely confusing. Doctor, you posted a video this week discussing scapegoat lost golden child. It was like you used my childhood as a frame of reference. You know, it's funny because a lot of you guys said that. A lot of you guys said the exact same thing. And I'm glad that it resonated with a lot of you guys so that you guys will understand what role you played in your family if you came from a family that had, narcissistic parents. Brenda said, oh, check this out. My ex is very Christian now. And he tried to tell me how peaceful he was since he's been away from me. Crazy psycho. 9 times out of 10, the new supply is probably the Christian. Or either, Brenda, you may have, I don't know, you correct me if I'm wrong, but did you tell him that you were Christian and that Christianity was a part of your life and it meant something to you? If you said that, then he's going to do that to try to hurt you. Or number 2, the new supply is a Christian. Isn't that sad? My husband has ignored me after financial mediation. It's been 2 months and I feel that I've done something wrong. It really hurts that he feels like the victim. You don't have to feel sorry for him. If he's a narcissist, he's doing that on purpose. He's playing games. And so don't fall into that. 15 minutes. Wait a minute. What did Telsha say? Just be real. Ask Telsha how much time I had. Did you come on before I gave Telsha the time? Because I started talking before I gave her the time. So I'm not sure. Telsha, I don't know how much time. 7:50. Oh, just be real. Telsha was talking to you. Y'all keep me on track. Because my daughter has to get on the computer, so I have to make sure I move out of her way. They always play the victim. Don't feel bad. Exactly. That's what they want you to feel. Yeah, don't feel bad about that. They're always the victim. It doesn't matter. If they leave you, they're the victims, and oh my gosh, you left me. And then you're thinking like, wait a minute, you're the one who left me. But when they tell the story to everybody, it was them. You left them. You left them. You see what I mean? Don't feel bad. Don't feel sorry for them. I know you have a good heart, but don't feel sorry for them. It's a game. It's a sick game that they play with innocent people. When I say innocent people, that doesn't mean we're perfect. We're not perfect people. We're going to make mistakes. We're imperfect people, trying to have relationships with people. But just because you're an imperfect person doesn't mean that a person has a right to abuse you. They do not have the right to abuse you. Remember that. They do not have the right to abuse you. Hey, Emmanuel, how are you doing, sir? He absolutely wants a reaction. That's right. Respect the language, please. Did I miss something? Hello, Canada. Jasmine, you say you cheated. Who cheated? Who cheated? Uniquely May said, Dr. Bryant, do you mind telling us how you found the strength and will to move on and overcome the trauma bonding? Well, so let's see. Well, I was in a relationship for 22 years. 20 of that was marriage. And it wasn't like that was the first abuser that I'd been with, but that was the longest abuser I had been with. And so I've almost 50 some years, I'd been through narcissistic abuse. And it got to a point where, number one, I connected with my mentor. And when I connected with my mentor, first of all, Telsha, you've met her. When I met my mentor, she began teaching me how to be a woman. She taught me how to be a woman. When I say a woman, she taught me how to love myself. She taught me how to love my God and how to accept love from God. And I know a lot of you are not Christians, and I understand and I respect that. Each and every one of you have your own belief system, but I'm just answering the question pertaining to my situation. So when I met my mentor, is the first time because I was always in a position of leadership. And so throughout the military, because I was in a position of leadership, I was going through domestic violence at the time very badly, and so were my children. And so, but I spent a lot of time protecting my soldiers, making sure my soldiers were protected, getting the resources for my soldiers. At that time when I was doing what I was doing, secretly, I was living vicariously through them. And I was trying to figure out if they can be rescued, if it works for them, maybe it'll work for me. At that particular time, because I was in the military and making money, he stole all my money. I couldn't have access to my money the way I could because of the fact that he always felt like I was going to leave. And I think deep down in my heart, first of all, I wanted to make it work, but I didn't know what I was dealing with. I was trying to make it work, but I made a promise. And I remember Tina Turner said the same thing. She made a promise and told Ike Turner that I'll never leave you like the rest of them did. And sometimes we lock ourselves in a dysfunctional promise that we shouldn't have never have locked ourselves in. Because of the fact that I had been divorced before, the first thing that I said is, I'm going to make this marriage work. Okay, you can't make anything work when another person doesn't want to make it work. And especially if you're dealing with abuse. And because I came from an abusive background, the first thing that I thought was, I'm just gonna pray and I'm gonna make it better. And I connected with my mentor. The first thing my mentor began to teach me is how to have a relationship with God. Number 2, she also taught me how to have a prayer life. And number 3, she taught me what love was and what love was not. And the way that she expressed love to me was by being even though I have a mother, and of course my mother loves me, but she taught me how to, she was my spiritual parent. She was my mentor. She was my pastor. And she taught me how to be loved. And when I say love, not one of those, because she was a woman in ministry. She was a businesswoman, and she was a very professional woman. And I was coming out of a military profession, and I used to watch her, and I really liked the way that she carried herself. I loved her confidence, and I couldn't understand how was she so confident. And she began to teach me how to be confident. She began to teach me how to love my tribe as a family. She's very into family. Love my tribe as a family, and to begin to accept people's differences. And just because people are different doesn't mean that that you can't love them or you cannot be loved. When she began to teach me that, and she began to mentor me, and she began to counsel me, I began to, just like with a lot of you guys, we didn't understand what narcissism was at the time, but she began to mentor and counsel me, and I began to have confidence in myself. Because remember, I too was isolated. I was isolated, so what I had was the military. And most people that have been abused, a lot of people that go through domestic violence, narcissist abuse, or abuse, severely abused, are usually people that become very outstanding in their job. They become top leaders. They become very efficient in what they do. They become like, the who's who of America, the best leader in the military. I was the best speaker. I was the biggest advocate for 7 minutes. Okay, I was the best advocate for women that were going through domestic, men too. I had men too that were going through domestic violence. I was an advocate for, making sure people had, I worked very hard, but I was working my issues through everybody else. Until one day, I just realized I couldn't take this abuse anymore. I couldn't take this abuse. I could not. And when I began to speak up for myself, and I had the confidence, and I realized, like, wait a minute. First of all, I'm not crazy. I was going through my doctor's program, so I know I wasn't crazy. What else? I wasn't crazy. I know I have some intelligence. I make money. I left the military, so I had to restart my career over. I had goals. I had plans. There were things that I wanted to do. I had gained a lot of weight at that time too, because I had a back injury. I had gotten really big. I was made to feel bad about myself, about being as big as I was. And it finally got to a point where enough was enough. I said, I cannot deal with this anymore. I don't care. And what ended up happening is that he knew I had gotten to the point where enough was enough. And so, but he had already been doing what he was doing. He had already connected with someone else, living with someone else. I didn't know the family didn't know anything about it. And he knew that I was about to discard. And so basically what the narcissist did was beat me to the discard. And really it was the best thing that could have happened for me, till this day. It's the best thing it could have ever happened. The feelings that you guys go through, that feeling of shame, or maybe I did something wrong, because they're going to make you feel like you did something wrong. Because I did feel like I did something wrong. I didn't try hard enough. Maybe I could have made it work, or maybe he still cares, or maybe he'll come back. But it wasn't until a year later where I found out that he already had another family. He had pretended like he was having another. He had a pseudo family. He had already had another family, and pretending to be married to that individual. And so that was the straw that broke the camel's back after all those years. And I said, I'm done with it. And basically what I said was, whatever I have to do to heal from this trauma and be the greatest me that I can be with the family that I had, my church tribe, my mentor, I focused my attention on that and building a business and building myself back up. When I started building myself back up, when I felt that I had healed enough to finally begin talking about this horrific thing, by then I had already healed enough for me to start talking about it. I was talking about it, and what I found is when I discovered what it was and added the right vocabulary to it, people begin to open up. People begin to listen. I had people in counseling where we didn't know that's what it was, but when I finally discovered that's what it was, and I changed my vernacular, when I started changing how I describe the abuse, more people begin to heal. They begin to understand. And then I began to do not Facebook, but YouTube videos. And I found out that all of us have the same story. No, and I guarantee thousands of emails that I get, as many people as I counsel and I coach, it gets to a point where all the stories are exactly alike. Different situations, different countries, different relationships, whether it's lesbian, heterosexual, whatever the relationship, whatever culture, whatever language, all of us have the exact same stories. And so it started making me feel good, like, wow, if I can recover and I can get to where I am, and I can be, I can get my confidence, my pep in my step, feel good about myself, don't worry about what someone has to say about me, be the greatest me I can be, laugh at my own jokes. When I started doing that, and I realized that the family that I was around, the tribe that I have, I love my tribe. They get on my nerves, I get on their nerves, but one thing we're family. We're not going to break up, and we've been with each other 12, 13 years. And so that is where my confidence came from. That, and then I have a good mentor that is still in my life. She's still in my life. And she is that anchor. She is 3. Okay, but for my first close, oh, shut up. But that is the anchor in my life. And and so for those of you that are wondering whether you ever are going to make it beyond this point, I promise you will if you hang in there. That doesn't mean that you're going to get over it right away. You're not going to get over it right away. It took me years to get to this point, but you guys didn't see me during those years. You don't know what I was like during those years. You don't know, let me be transparent for just a minute. Like my big sister said today, let me be transparent for just a minute. I cried for 6 months. 6 months I laid on the floor. And what I struggle with is that I don't want him. And why am I hurting so bad? This is the best thing and the worst thing that could have happened. The betrayal and the open doors, the games, you hurt my kids. You left me almost destitute. You left me with nothing and laughed at me. And then your new supply laughed at me in the greatest of my pain, to struggle for a mother, to struggle to make sure she's able to put food on the table for her children. Some of you guys understand, some of you men understand, to be able to for me, I can't say for everyone else because everybody has their own belief system. Remember that. Everybody has their own belief system. For me, I had to pray and believe God to be able to provide for me and my daughter as I had to rebuild my life. I had money stolen. I had, I started off with nothing. What I had was my car and my furniture, my license, my job. And I started over from ground zero. And the reason why I am you don't have to hurt for me, honey girl. I'm good. You don't even have to worry about it because you will get beyond this. It's just my story to show you guys because I was asked to tell the story, but it's just my short story to show you guys that you're not going to, if you focus on it, you're not going to be here forever. It was a valuable lesson to learn. And I don't, I'll never go back and repeat it. But the one thing that I don't regret that I went through it, because look at how many people are on here being helped. Look at how many people have, sometimes you have to have something to look at to see, is it possible to heal? Is it possible to get beyond where I'm at? And that's why a lot of people are like, will I ever get beyond this? Is it possible for people to heal? I always say, hey, you're on my channel. So you're not just talking to a clinician. You're not just talking to a professional. You're talking to a survivor as well. And so that's why when I had to start all over again, I didn't mind. Because of the fact that one thing that I can say is that nobody helped me. I did this by myself. I did it with the support of my tribe. I did it with the support of my mentor. My mentor was there for me every step of the way. And she always wanted to, to have someone to almost kill you, literally, to a person that wants to see the best for you, a person that really wants to see you thrive, a person that wants to see you succeed, a person that can see your good qualities. For a person, think about it, for a person look and say, you are so pretty and want nothing from you. You know, you are gorgeous, and they want nothing from you. It's a compliment. Just run with it. For a person to say, I love you, and really mean it, and don't want anything from you when they say it. You know, when you meet people like that, these are the people you keep in your court. These are the people that are able to tell you something about yourself, you know, and it may hurt your feelings. You remember this one thing. Those of you that are asking me to be your mentor versus your coach, you got to remember, just like my mentor, a lot of times your mentors have to say some really strong words. You know, we call it rebuke, but some really, really strong words that may hurt your feelings and make you cry. But the only reason why they're telling you that is because they can see that that could be a hindrance in your life. You know, that right there will show you that they care enough about you to correct you in your wrong so that you don't have to keep making the same mistakes. They know where they've been and they don't want you to make the same mistakes. But for somebody to gravitate toward you and you know, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. And when the student was ready, the teacher showed up. I'll thump you, Telsha. But just give me 5 minutes. But when you meet the right mentor, these mentors will roll in the mud with you. These mentors, they're there for you when you ugly. They're there for when you listen. You know, they're there for you when you ugly. They're there for when you walk around looking like Fire Marshal Bill. You got one eyelash on and they're like, you better get up and put your makeup on. You better put your eyelashes on. You better get up and you better. And so the days of my ugly days is the ugly days that she saw. But in those ugly days, she still saw my future. In those ugly days, she saw beyond my pain. In my ugly days, she saw you guys coming on here. She saw the people that I was going to be able to help. And she still trains me. She still teaches me because she is a worldwide speaker. And so her being a worldwide speaker, a global public figure, she takes the time, think about that, a mentor takes the time even when they're tired to tell you that they're proud of you, to tell you where you're making a mistake, to tell you this is what you need to fix. And they don't have a problem with you being mad. Number one, they know you're not going nowhere. And number two, you're going to come back and think about what they say. So that is where I got my strength from. And so what I'm telling you guys, and I know I didn't answer a lot of questions, but what I'm telling you guys is don't think that you'll always be in this place. The pain is going to be hard, yes, but you have to make up your mind. Just like drug addicts, you have to make up your mind. I'm going to leave and I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm not going back. The one thing that I said, I'm the type of person, everybody knows me. Everybody knows this, even my mentor. If I say something, I'm going to do it. And if I say I'm not going back, I ain't going back. Now, I may have struggled back and forth and that cognitive dissonance, because remember, you breaking an addiction, you breaking that cognitive dissonance. So I know what it feels like to go back and forth. Oh, but he's so nice to me. And oh, I remember we used to laugh and oh my gosh, he's the father of my child. And oh my gosh. But then I had to remember, but this is all the horrible things that happened. This is the abuse that my children went through. This is the suffering that we went through. This is what was taken from me. This is, you know, so when you begin to realize, you have to look at, why are you leaving? Why did they leave? Do you want to keep being tormented? You know, I much rather go through the emotional excuse me. I need something to drink. Excuse me. I much rather go through the emotional pain of recovery than to go through. Some of you have made the choice to stay where you are and to keep getting tormented. I'm just not like that. I got things to do, honey. I got people to talk to. I got books to write. I got programs. And check this out. Now, I don't know if this sounds petty or not when I say this, but do you know that you can make money off of your pain? I'm just saying. I'm a single mother, and I'm trying to show my girls that you don't, and don't get me wrong, my brothers. Don't get me wrong, kings. I'm not saying this to be negative to you guys. I'm just saying this from a woman's standpoint. You know, I love my brothers. I love my kings. One day I will be married. When I do, I'll let you guys know. But the one thing that I'm teaching my girls is that a woman doesn't have to have a man to be successful. Not saying we don't love you, kings. Now, we love you, you know, and as you guys know, I'm heterosexual. No, I'm not going to marry you, Stevie. But I'm heterosexual, so you guys know that for me, I love the kings. I do love the kings. Now, whatever your choice is, that's up to y'all. But a woman doesn't have to have a man to be able to make it. Now, one thing that I tell my clients and one thing I tell my daughters is this, and any other daughter that I have as a mentee that I've had in the military, and they know me and still in contact with me, the one thing I say is this. You don't have to have a man to be successful. The most beautiful thing in the world is to come home, whether you bought your own home, whether you bought your own house, you're paying your own bills, when you sit on your own couch. All that is stuff that you did for yourself. And then if you have to remember, a lot of you guys try to jump back into relationships too quick. You try to jump into relationships before you are healed. There's a broken person and another broken person. A broken person draws a broken person. What are your dreams? What are your plans? Once you get that out of the way, okay, you lonely. Okay, you have to fix a way of not being lonely. Some of you guys want to be with someone because you don't want to sleep in the bed by yourself. Some of you guys want to have legal sex, in the Christian community, some of the people want to have legal sex, and just like my big sister said today, you just settle for anything. You have to put yourself in a position to understand your value. And if people don't understand your value, you don't have to settle for that individual. Like I said, a man and a woman, most men do it by themselves anyway, and then we come and, but women, you don't have to have a man to be able to be successful. Build your business, build your empire. When you build your business, when you build your empire, when you educate yourself, when you get wise, when you educate yourself, don't eat the books, read the books, read books. Find good mentors, find good programs that wise is going to educate you and teach you, how to heal. Get into counseling, get a coach, build your business, work your dreams. What is it for me to jump up and say, when you get married, you have a responsibility to the house, but jump up and say, hey, tribe, would you like to take a cruise? Let's all go take a cruise. I'm going to plan a cruise, and we jump up and take a cruise. Or if we just decide, hey, as a woman, I need a break. I'm going on a cruise. I'm going to take myself on a cruise. When you can do stuff for yourself, you can't limit yourself. A lot of times people limit yourself. You limit yourself because you base your future off of what people have said about you, what the narcissist has said about you, what people have said about you, what your dysfunctional family has said about you, what your just because they didn't make it, just because they're not wealthy, just because they don't have a business, just because they didn't get out of poverty, just because they're still the crabs in the pot doesn't mean that you have to be the one in the pot. You can be different than anybody else. You the black sheep, you were the scapegoat, whatever you were, but you can be the first one to do something in your family. So ladies, you don't have to settle. Men, you don't have to settle just because you want a woman in your house. I want somebody to cook and clean. Get your big head up and go cook and clean yourself. You cook and clean. She don't have to cook clean. You go cook and clean. So that when you do get her in the house, you'll appreciate her even more. Ladies, I want somebody to help me pay these bills. Stop making the bills. Stop putting yourself in debt. You don't need a man to pay your bills off. Now he in debt because you in debt. Do something for yourself. You ladies, you wise, but men, you be wise. You know what I mean? Yeah, fix your own meals 3 times a day. That's what I'm talking about. Cook. If you don't like to cook, take yourself out to eat. So I know I done babbled and talked. Well, that's not a babble. I don't babble. But hopefully, I know I went over my time. Clock people's Just Be Real and my Telsha and New Dawn Rise. I know I went over the time, but I really wanted to say that. You asked me the question, but I wanted you to see, how my mind thinks. And it's not that I can make everybody think like this, but what I'm telling you is stop telling yourself you're limited. You like to cook? See? Now who is this? Now, C is the infamil. Check this out. Who's to say you're not going to meet a woman that's going to appreciate your cooking? And then she's going to balance you out. You like to cook. Some woman is believing that she's going to meet a man that likes to cook, don't want to cook. You know what I mean? We talk about that in church all the time. There's some people that enjoy cooking, some people that don't enjoy cooking. But the perfect person for you is gonna find you. That doesn't mean they're perfect. That means that you guys are perfect together. You see what I mean? So you play too much, but it's real talk. I know, right? But hopefully you guys got something out of that. You used to be a chef? Shut your mouth, see? That's what I'm talking about. You are so welcome, Mimi. But I just wanted to share that. You asked a question. I wanted to share that, and I want you guys to understand is stop limiting yourself. Stop telling yourself, I'm never going to get out of this. Stop telling you. I told you guys this year is going to be the year of discovering your authentic self and your recovery. You're going to recover this year. And to recover doesn't mean that you needed to hear this. Wish I had you as a mentor. Oh, I know my soldiers couldn't stand me. Now they love me. Mama. But I was the same way with them. I'm leaving. I'm getting ready to get off. But yeah, but we are not victims. We're survivors. You're welcome, Miss Kendra. We're survivors. You see what I mean? And so stop telling yourself you're looking at people and you are judging yourself off of what you see. You don't know what they went through to get what they got. You don't know what they go through to have or to maintain what they have. Just because a person is struggling or hurting on the inside, some people don't show it. When I was in the military, I didn't show it. They just saw what I had. They didn't know what it took for me to keep it. You know, it was a hot mess. It was a mess. You know, but it's good to know that you're doing it yourself. Don't look at somebody and I'll never make it where she's at. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. I'll give you a little secret. I used to live in a homeless shelter. I used to be homeless. I was in a homeless shelter. And when I was in a homeless shelter, I remember I was walking to the hospital. I was walking to the hospital, and I remember looking at it was Alabama State, and it was Alabama University in Birmingham, AUB, Alabama University in Birmingham. I had just went to go look at this college the year before or that year when I was in high school, and I remember wanting to be a nurse. And I remember I was in a homeless shelter, Bread and Roses in Birmingham, Alabama. And I remember UAB, University of Alabama in Birmingham. There you go. And I remember I was walking to the hospital. I was pregnant at the time. I was walking to the hospital. And I remember looking up at the same college that I had just thought about I wanted to go to be a nurse. And I remember looking, I was homeless. I was in a homeless shelter. Y'all, I had nothing but one suitcase. And I remember looking at the young adults walking back and forth and smiling. You know, when you sad and when you depressed, you wonder why everybody happy around you. But I remember looking and I was like, man, God, just give me one more chance because I messed it up. Give me an opportunity to go to college and educate myself. Y'all, let me tell you something. For those of you that believe, you know, like I said, whatever your belief system is, that's your belief system. You have to believe the way that you believe. I am a Christian. I'm a believer. And so I had to, you know, go by what I believe. And what I believe is when I prayed and I said, God, give me one more chance. He didn't just give me one more chance. I'm retired from the military and I have 4 degrees. Not only do I have 4 degrees, yes, the military, I ended up being I'm not disabled, put it that way, but medically I was injured, and with that medical injury it resulted in it paying off my $100,000 student loan. And so what I can say is how I believe. I can always say how I believe. You know, how I believe is when I put my faith back in my belief system, when I put my faith back where it belonged, things begin to happen for me because I believed. You see what I mean? And so for those of you that meditate, for those of you, whatever you do, you know, whatever you believe in, you know, you have to lean on your faith, whatever that faith is. You see that? Whatever that faith is. But whatever I put my mind to, focus, exactly. I was the type of person, whatever I put my mind to is exactly what I'm going to get. When I start thinking of stuff, I'm not going back. This is what I want. I want this business. This is how I want to do it. I want to write a book. I want to go on and talk to the people on YouTube. I want to be able to do conferences. I want to go travel and do seminars to talk to people about this because I know what it felt like. I know how much I hurt, and I want to talk to the people that are hurting just like I was hurting at one time. I know what it felt like. That didn't make me an empath. That made me empathetic because I knew how bad it hurt me. And so because of the fact that I knew how bad it hurt me and my children, I said, I want to go talk to people and I want to let them know it's going to be okay. You're stronger than what you've been through. And so that's why I do what I do. And so for you guys that are thinking, I'll never be able to do it, I'll never be able to heal, I'll never get beyond this, it takes time. I thought the same way. And after some years, all of a sudden, one day I woke up and I remember I was suffering. I was sad. I was crying. You know, nobody knew I was crying because I'm a thug. At least on the 5th and 1st, the 1st and the 15th. See, I don't even know what days. I'm hardcore. I'm hard. I'm a soldier. But when I got into my private place, it was 6 months. I cried 6 months because I couldn't believe, you know, how much time I had invested in this relationship, how much time I could have left a long time ago. Why did I stay? Why did I put up with this? Why did I lose what I lost? Lost my health, lost my age, lost my size, lost my beauty. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh my God, you know, and this is what was running through my mind. And after that 6 months, you know, it was a few years later. It wasn't right away. It was like within that 5-year span of time. One day I woke up and I was like, I looked in the mirror and I was like, you all right. You are pretty cool. You are all right. You know, I kind of like you. I said that to myself. I said, I like you. You all right. I like your freckles. I like your sense of humor. I like the way you talk. I like, that's why I tell you guys, don't worry about what people say about you. I don't care about what people say when they come on and have comments to say. That lets me know that I'm confident in myself. You be confident in yourself. You be confident with who you are. Like who you are. Don't want to be like someone else. She's small. He's buff. Be who you are and be comfortable with who you are. Be comfortable with your personality. Be comfortable with the way you wear your makeup. Whether you wear a wig or you don't wear a wig, whether you wear weave or you don't. You see, I come on here and I'm very comfortable with whether I'm gonna wear a ponytail, a wig, weave, my own hair, an afro, straight hair, whatever. I feel comfortable with myself now. You see what I mean? That's what you guys are working toward. That is what you're trying to do. After all this that you have been through, you're still stuck on what this person said about you or how you feel about myself and the shame. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are not what that person says. That's right. Be confident. Confident. You're self-confident. Okay, my cat is doing something. It got too quiet. But self-confident, self-worth. You see what I mean? See, you lost a lot of weight when you were with the narcissist. And the other way, you and Shaka Khan got the same color. I finally got it. That's the color that I wanted. I wanted her color. That's the color I was trying to achieve. I used to wear this for years and years and years. I wore this color for years, but I was trying to, because normally I mix my own colors. I do my own colors. Because I used to be a hairdresser. I used to be a cosmetologist. So, I was born to shine. Thank you, girl. So, well, that's it for me. You're what you say. That's right. You're right. Don't care about what people say. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for allowing me to talk to you guys. Thank you for asking a question. When you answer that question, it'll open up a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about. Just to let you guys know, you guys, that's right, you value yourself. And I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Thank you for being, supportive. Thank you for coming on. Whenever I come on, you guys are right here. I really appreciate you guys. How long did it take me to heal? About 6 years. About 6 years. And every day is a new day. Because remember, I, like many of you guys, is different if I didn't have a child by that individual. You know what? But you have to remember, I also have to co-counterparent. And so for a lot of those that have to counter co-parent with that individual, the narcissist never stops. It's like the Terminator. You remember, he just kept on trying to get him. They never stop. And so there's always something new. You feeling good about yourself, then bam, something else happens. And you're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, really? When does this stop? And just like my mentor said, a narc is a narc. And in their mind is till death do you part. And so I know that's in their mind. That's not in my mind. I'm not really concerned with that. You see what I mean? Yeah, they're exhausting. Yes, they are. Okay, I'm getting ready to get off because Telsha and Just Be Real are flying over here to snatch these phones off the off the hook, off the thing. They're coming up. So if you see them coming in the camera, they're gonna snatch these phones off. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Dr. Carmen Bryant. You're throwing clocks and rocks. You know what? But Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Share it with people because you never know. You never see. He's running. See, he's trying to get me off camera too. So y'all done stirred up my cat. But make sure you share these videos. Share these videos to make sure that you never know who's going through. You don't know. You don't know who's watching your videos. You don't know who's watching in private. Not everybody subscribes to the channel. Yes, my book, New Dawn Arises, Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. Let me grab it. Make sure you guys go on Amazon. Go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble is Unmasking. I don't know if this is backwards. It's probably backwards. It's Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. Barnes & Nobles or on Amazon. You can get Kindle. You can get ebook. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you have not already, to my YouTube channel. Share the videos. You don't know who's watching in secret. I found out people were watching in secret and emailed me in secret. And one young lady, I don't know where she's at. I haven't heard from her again. But she was being held. He won't keep still for me to pick him up. But because he's trying to get me off the camera, so he keeps shooting by, so I can't catch him. But Samara, do you have Mr. Charles? Yes. You have him in your hand? No. Can you bring him here for a minute? I don't. Can you bring him here for a minute? I'm going over with someone. Okay, excuse me. Let me go get him. I'm gonna go get Mr. Charles for y'all. I know. Okay, y'all. I'm in there fussing at her trying to get him. Here goes Mr. Charles, y'all. He likes my hair. He's Mr. Charles, you guys. Here's Mr. Charles. See Mr. Charles? And he's a big boy. I got big cats, big animals. I got big animals. You thought it was a cat? So I'm getting ready to get off, okay, you guys? I got a zoo. I got a petting zoo. See? So you got to find something that keeps you busy. Find something that you can love. I love these little animals, and I keep them in her room, but I love these little animals, and they love me back. It's a groundhog, a guinea pig. Someone called him a rat. No, that's Mr. Charles. But so you guys, listen. He scratches. But listen, so make sure you guys go check out my mentors page too. It is you thought no, I didn't pick up the cat this time. He walking around here he right here in front of me. But so you guys go check out my mentors YouTube channel as well. It is Helen Sadler Destiny Helper. Make sure you guys go check out the BetterHelp.com. You hear him? You guys hear him? You guys hear him? You guys can hear him? He's happy. But make sure you guys also go check out betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen for a nominal fee for counseling. Make sure you use my code because you'll get a 10% discount. And if you're having any financial problems, let them know. Yeah, he's talking. And if you have any financial problems, let them know because they do offer grants to assist you. You can do online counseling. You can do telephonic counseling. But yes, they will assist you. And people are telling me that they're having great experiences with these counselors. Please go check out a counselor. You know, go check them out. See if you like them. Yeah, R.C. Blakes as well. The Honorable Bishop R.C. I think he's Bishop, right? Bishop R.C. Blakes or Pastor R.C. Blakes. My mentor and my senior pastor, Apostle Helen Sadler. You can find her on Facebook or go on her YouTube channel, Helen Sadler Destiny Helper, and she talks about he's getting his little 15 minutes of fame, but she also offers information on narcissist abuse based on biblical. He's pretty cool though. He's pretty cool. But she provides you with more information on narcissist abuse based from a biblical and spiritual perspective. Down to earth, Miss Telsha finally met my mentor in California. So thank you so much. Hopefully this has made a difference, uniquely made, I hope. Thank you so much, Travis. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. He said, trust Dr. Bryant, you will get over it. Stop mistaking trauma for love. Exactly. It is peaceful. I'm for the cruise. Let's set it up. I know, right? Somebody set up the cruise so we can go on a cruise. And we can do us a platform there. Hey, I'm all down for it. You never know what the future is going to hold. But remember, you got to start little. I am Dr. Doolittle. They talk to me. They understand. But check it out. But you never know. You know, this is just this is a he. This is Mr. Charles. But remember, this is just the beginning. So I just started October of 2018, and I've been doing this. I've been working this. You know, I've been getting clientele because my main business is counseling, and so I do coaching on the side. But you know, this year I'm starting to travel to go speaking engagements, and as that pick up, you know, you never know. You guys just gotta give me time to build it up. You know, it takes a little time to build up, and so as we're building up, you never know. I'm hoping, I really would like to do cruises. You know, that would be awesome because it gives you guys a time, you know, to take a break. You guys take a break. You guys enjoy the waters. You know, we get together, we talk, but we're going to have some things in place. You got to give it time. You know, sometimes you got to work up to it. So yeah, So if anybody is into cruises and stuff like that, let me know. But thank you guys so much. I think March, Stevie Bananas. I think it's March. I have to call Miss Tiara tomorrow to sit down and talk to her. He wants to get in my hair. He wants to nest in my hair, but if he does that, he get caught up in my hair. But I got to talk to Miss Tiara tomorrow to find out when. I think it's March. I think I'll be in North Carolina in March. I'll let you guys know, okay? And but I thank you. See, he wants to get into my hair. And once he get in my hair, y'all, he gonna pull it off. We don't want him to pull it off. So, y'all, I'll be the best me that I can be sitting here without this on my head. You know what I mean? Oh, you're an ASL interpreter? Oh, that's what I'm talking about, Irma. I got to make sure I remember that, too. But, hey, you guys have a wonderful... You hear him? Listen. Hear him? He's talking to me. You hear him? So, I'm not sure. You guys hear him? So, yep, he's having a conversation. He's finally, I just got him in December, and so he's just now opening up, and he's actually talking, he's chirping and stuff. At first, he was just really scared. He wouldn't say very much. Oh, that'd be awesome, Miss Irma. I really appreciate that. So, actually, my daughter is his mama, but I'm really his mama, for real, for real. I'm his mama. But I thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to get off so she can get on the computer, okay? Thank you so much for allowing me to spend time with you guys. Thank you so much for always keeping me company. I never have a dull moment. If I want to talk about topics, if I think about something, thank you guys for being so receptive. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. He's real active now. I'm talking and he's talking. And I think it's because he hears my voice. So he's talking and I'm talking. Thank you. So yeah, like the video, share the video. You guys make sure you share the video, share the Facebook page, you know, of us talking, you know, send it to somebody, let them hear. Somebody needs to be encouraged. Sometimes the people that you can't reach might like hearing me talk. Who knows? And some of them might not. I may be irritating. And just because I'm irritating, they may listen to my old irritating self. Okay? I'm Dr. Doolittle. So you guys have a wonderful evening, okay? And you guys go be great. So I'm going to have to like maneuver with my fingers, okay? You guys go be great. You guys have a wonderful evening. Go be great. Thank you guys so much for having been here with me. I'm trying to do a lot with one hand. You guys take care, okay? And Mr. Charles says good night too. Thank you guys.